to Rick. So a very good afternoon, colleagues. Welcome to this inaugural session on the CDTL Lunchtime Sharing Series. Just to give you some background information about this lunchtime series, the intention is to provide a platform for us to hear insights from academic teachers about the experiences, challenges, and good practices in technology-enhanced learning tools, as well as the strategies. And we're very happy and fortunate this afternoon to kickstart this session, this series. We have this session entitled Good Practices in Creating geNiUSbooks for Teaching and Learning. And we're very happy to have Associate Professor Ryan Bettens from the Department of Chemistry, Faculty of Science, to share with us his experience in using and creating geNiUSbooks for his own teaching and learning. Just to give you some background information, Prof Bettens was awarded both the geNiUSbooks Best Teacher and the geNiUSbooks Best Innovation for two of his entries, geNiUSbooks entries entitled The Founding of Modern Science and Scientific Exploration Models, submitted for the inaugural geNiUSchannels and geNiUSbooks 2021 competition. Now, the competition aims to recognize the most creative videos and ebook resources produced by the NUS community. And for those of you who are still interested in submitting the competition for this year, 2022, the competition is still open till 9th of September. We will send you the link during the session itself in the chat group. Now, without further ado, I'll pass the time to Prof Bettens. Over to you.
Okay, thanks, Alan. Okay, so I just wanted to show you, well, they've asked me to show you about the sways that basically I made, which are geNiUSbooks. Now, the thing is, it turns out that, let me share the screen then. This one. It turns out that for the NUS Teaching Academy, a bunch of us had to made a bunch of videos for the rest of the community to assist in various aspects of teaching. So I thought I'd do a sway for how to make online videos, which just so happens to align fairly nicely with what we're talking about today. So here we are at the geNiUSchannel here, right? I've got a bit of a frog in my throat, so please excuse my rather weird sounding voice. You go to browse, okay, and under geNiUSbooks, if you go to how to, right, then you'll see this one here, right, creating online.
Sorry to interrupt. I think we can't see your screen.
Oh, really? What's being shared actually?
I think it's the focus mode.
Okay.
Alan,
what are you seeing now? Anything? Yeah, it says my shared screen can only be seen by the host.
I don't see on my side.
I can see the share screen.
Can you all see it now? Okay.
Not yet.
Right, let me try again. That's because it's on focus mode, I think. Now, can you see it?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, sorry about that. So this is the geNiUSchannel, which I guess you guys are well aware of. If you go to the browse, okay, and then you go to geNiUSbooks here, right over here, and how to, I mean, there's a bunch of how-to videos. And this one here, creating online lectures. So if you click on that, it'll basically take you to this sway here, right? Can you see this sway?
Yes.
Right. So this is the sway on creating online lectures that I made on behalf of the Teaching Academy for well, just sharing my experience in making videos at home, actually, because this was during COVID when it was at its peak, and we had to get the HSI 1000 module, which is in the common curriculum. It has 1,200 students in it per semester, so it's all of FASS and FOS have to be taking this module over the year. So this had to be up and running right when we were in the middle of the pandemic. The only way I could really make videos was to do them at home. So so basically what I wanted to show you then is essentially how to make a sway like this, which it can be like a lecture. So each sway, if you want to think of a sway, it's an ebook, is one lecture. I mean, of course, it depends how you structure your module, but if you've got a reasonably structured module in that one topic can fit into one lecture, then you can make a sway out of that. But I mean, you can use the sway to make anything you like, really. But so this is what this particular sway looks like on making online lectures, and I'll give you examples of actual sways that represent lectures soon. Okay, so what you would do, you have your title screen, and then you can have some intended learning outcomes here, say for the students, right? So that they know what they're supposed to learn in the lecture. So you could list those there. Then what I normally also do as part of the sway, including in the sway, is you would have these documents. The students, of course, need notes. You can't just have videos for the students. They will need some sort of notes. Now, maybe you have PDFs or PowerPoints. So I've similarly done that here. So if we click on that, you can see that these are essentially the transcript for the videos, but I've also edited it so that it's readable and inserted the things that I showed within the various videos within this sway, right? So the first video is on DIY video preparation, the content. So the style of the lecture, what type of style you might want to think about doing, Khan style, right? Or pre-recorded in an LT, or a head in the bottom of the screen, you know, of a PowerPoint slide, or a green screen presenter, which is the one that I chose. And we surveyed the CHS cohort to see which ones they liked the most. And well, you can see the green screen presenter here came up the most liked of all the different styles of videos that they could watch for lectures. We asked them how long videos should be. A lot of us are told they should be kept really short, but in fact, when it comes to giving lectures, the students don't want that. And the vast majority of students would prefer to have significantly longer videos, like 20 minutes.
Can you make it white?
20 minutes or so. Let's expand that a bit, right? So these are the results of the survey. What would be your preferred length of lecture videos? And you see a good chunk of them don't care, but very few want short videos. They all prefer 20 or 30 minutes, really, video length. Okay, so we asked them these things. Anyway, that's all presented within these videos in this sway that I'm talking about at the moment, right? So basically I want to close this window here. How odd. How do you actually close the window? Wait. How strange. I can't seem to be able. If I just stop the share for a moment, right, and get rid of this Word document, right, I'll begin sharing again. We should be back here. Okay, can you see the sway again?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so that's how you would give the students notes. You would put, that's how I did it anyway, just put a link. With sway, it's possible to embed the notes so that they would appear within the sway. But to be honest, I couldn't really get that to work reliably all the time and on all possible browsers. So the easiest way was to just put links to your document on your SharePoint, your NUS SharePoint for your notes, okay? Then we get to the actual videos. So here's the first video for doing this. So this is where I discuss what I just mentioned, really. making scripts and things like that, what style of video you might want to do. Okay, so if it was a lecture, this would be your first topic in the lecture. And then after your video, I found that, and the students will appreciate, inserting a little quiz like this. So this is a Microsoft form. Okay, I'm just doing it here in this particular way as an example so that you can see what you get, right? So you have the students watch the video, however long it is, 10, 15, 20 minutes long. And then after it, you can have them do this little quiz, right? So this is a quiz associated with that video, just so that they have, just to test to see if they've got have understood any of the material in the video, really. It doesn't count, it's just fun. Okay, so I would make those relatively easy. The students, when we survey them, said they appreciated this type of thing. Okay, continuing on in this way. So that was the first video. The second video is just the hardware. If you've got to do it at home, which I don't think you really need to do now, actually. I don't think NUS has officially announced it, but I believe NUS is in the process of setting up, or has set up, self-recording rooms which have actual green screens in them. So you can actually do it in these rooms rather than have to do this at home. But I show you in this particular video, so you could probably skip this one, how the gear you need a green screen, a frame, some lights, and a good microphone and things like that to set up your own little home studio. Of course, it's not going to be movie cinema quality, but it doesn't need to be, right? It's just lectures, and the students do enjoy it and appreciate it, as we get here in the feedback. Okay, I would recommend getting a teleprompter too, but and here are the links to all the different items that I got. I'm not advertising any particular ones. These are just the things that I used. The microphone you can actually borrow from CIT, or you can buy it yourself as well. The next thing, I just wanted to show you this before I actually get to the video on the sway. The next thing is some resources that you can use in your videos, right? The first thing I do, though, is talk about Creative Commons and what the different codes mean. They're pretty easy to understand. So you can pretty much use any Creative Commons content in your own videos, as long as you attribute them properly and you follow the various licenses. But they're very easy to understand. They're mnemonic, the codes. So, right, share alike and by means you have to say who it's by. ND means no derivatives, you can't change it, right? NC, you can't make money from it. So, you know, for what we do in lectures, pretty much as long as you say who it's by and give the correct attribution, then you can free to use it, right? So I give you all the resources here that are Creative Commons, like Wikimedia, which comes from Wikipedia, Pixabay and Unsplash. These were shared with me from CIT. There's a ton of pictures and even videos and music there that you might, if you wanted to use, that isn't even Creative Commons. Their license is basically completely free to use without even citing them. They have a few things of what not to do, which you can check out here, but none of the things that they say that you can't do, you would actually do if you're making it part of your lecture. You've also got YouTube's audio library. That's available, of course, to use the sounds there. Some of them are Creative Commons, so you may have to cite. And to get these kind of interesting looking thumbnails for the videos, you can use this Canva here if you don't want to have to put up with the nasty default thumbnails that you get for videos. Often you can create your own using Canva very easily, quickly, and for free, right? You just choose a template and just modify it and stick in a picture and finished. All right, type in a few words that are relevant and it's done. Okay, and then the last video in this sway is how to actually make a sway for a lecture, right? Which I won't play because it's like half an hour. But it's not a tutorial on how to use sway. I mean, it's very, very easy to create your own sway. I clicked edit mode. Then you won't be able to do that with it, of course. Only I can. But if you want to create a sway, you just go to the sway website, right? Okay, which is here, and you just just create new, and then you immediately just start typing title, right? And then you can add various cards to it, right? Like if you want text after your title, you put that in. If you want media, you can put that in. Okay, so just so if we go back to the Sway, Microsoft has very easy tutorial to get started on Sway, and that's how I learned how to use it. I mean, you just watch their 15-minute video and you know how to use Sway. You can almost use it without, you can almost create Sways without even looking at it. It's so user-friendly. Okay, now these are the lectures that are created from Sway, so I can highlight some of those for you. Here's one of them from HSI 1000. Right, so fallacies in the name of, so this is the module wrap up. So you have the title, right? There's the intended learning outcomes for the lecture, right? So ideally, it'd be nice if you had one video to match each ILO, so that then the students very clearly know what the video is supposed to be doing, telling them about, right? Here's the lecture notes here for the whole video, essentially highly edited transcripts with the various images that you put into the videos, also inserted into those documents. Right, there's the first video. I was just chatting with Adrian Lee on his block for this module about how the two blocks are integrated, right? And then we have a short little quiz, as I mentioned, right after the video for the students to do. All of these images and that are all Creative Commons that you have full access to by using Sway. You just do a search for Creative Commons images and you just insert them directly into the Sway. Okay, and then we have our next video. Again, these are all, now these videos are actually from YouTube. I've uploaded to YouTube. Now they're unlisted. I don't want them public because I don't really want the public to see my videos, but anyone can see them who has the link. Now, if you have the Sway, you have the link. Okay, so they're open to the entire NUS community, and anyone who shares the link obviously can view it, but they're not open to the public. I also turned off comments on my videos because I don't really want to have to deal with people complaining about the videos. So I just don't have any comments on any of the videos either. So the reason why I uploaded them to YouTube rather than drag and drop the videos into Sway itself is because basically Sway, it doesn't work really. I mean, you can drag and drop a really short 2-minute video into Sway. I think that would probably be okay. Maybe it'd take 20 minutes to upload it. And but if you have 30-minute video, 1 gigabyte in size, I wouldn't even bother. It'll take forever and ever to upload. And even when it does upload, it won't even, I couldn't get it to display reliably on all browsers. So the easiest way to get videos to work in Sway is to upload to YouTube and then embed that video in the Sway itself, right? So this video here embedded into Sway, right? You can easily do such things, right? By just clicking here, go to media, and then embed, click on embed, and then copy paste in the embed code. Right? It's really that simple. You don't have to do very much. Okay, so this is basically what a lecture looks like. It's got ILOs, each of them match the videos. The videos are specifically addressing that particular ILO, and then you have little short quiz questions associated with that, just for their own practice. And then you have the notes, right? So that's one example lecture, right? I always, any links I have within the I mention in the video, I also put them inside the Sway for the students to access if they like, right? Let's go back to this other one. Here's another, this one's from FST. So I'm pretty sure Leong Lai Peng, Prof Leong Lai Peng won't mind me sharing this. So I've already asked her, actually. She said it was okay. So this is for one of her lectures, and you can see that the style's slightly different. It's very easy to change the styles just by clicking on settings, and you can totally change how everything's displayed. So this is one of the lectures for FST. You see, this is the sort of default thumbnail that you will get with YouTube if you don't create your own. So if you don't mind this type of thumbnail, then I wouldn't bother with making a thumbnail. It's really icing on the cake, really. But you see the same type of thing, right? You've got the title at the start. We've got intended learning outcomes for the lecture here. We then have the actual video, and following the video, we have a short quiz just to check the student's understanding, and so on and so forth. So, and of course, there's the downloadable notes. So these are just some example lectures that you can make in Sway. This is Adrian Lee's HSI 1000. This is very posh and fancy looking Sway because the style he's made here. I can't easily scroll. You have to go page by page, and you get the content of the Sway by navigating in this manner. It's quite fancy. There was his first video here, which you can click on. Also, it's on YouTube. If we wanted to just quickly scroll through that, I can just set it here. And so now you can see his lectures there, which is also part of HSI 1000. I think this one's possibly lecture 5. I'm not sure. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you. I don't know if you guys were wanting tutorials on how to use Sway or anything. I mean, I don't think that was the purpose of this. I was really just sharing with you the sort of things that you can do with Sway so that you can make, say, an online lecture for it, right? I think the key elements would be the intended learning outcomes for the lecture in there. The lecture notes you have as a link so that the students can access the lecture notes. The actual videos, obviously, that they should be, you know, you've got some structure to your lecture, right? So the videos will match the ILOs, and then some short quizzes associated with each video. And plus you would give any students, give the students links to additional resources or readings or whatever you wanted them to do. You can also embed that within the Sway. You can embed any YouTube video in the Sway, actually. It doesn't have to just be your own. Okay, so that's pretty much all I wanted to say, unless you want me to go into the nitty-gritty details of some of these things. I guess the one last thing I should mention is just that when you share files in the Sway, you just have to make sure that you have all the permissions set correctly so that the students can actually access the file. It can be kind of invisible to you if you share your own file in the Sway. When you click on it, it's fine because it's your file, you can see it. But if you haven't set the permissions on the file in your right, then the students won't be able to see it. It's about the only thing you need to take concern with. Now, of course, all of that is addressed in those videos, by the way. So that video, creating online content, I go into great detail, excruciating and perhaps ad nauseum in those videos on how to actually, what the nuts and bolts of what you actually have to do to embed a quiz into Sway, to actually embed a file into Sway, setting the permissions. That's all in the videos for that Sway, which I could actually, is it shared in the chat? Yeah, I think Darius has put it. Yes, he's put it there. So, I mean, yeah, so everything you need should be there, I hope. Okay, Alan, that's all you wanted me to share, wasn't it? That's about 25 minutes, I think.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for sharing the insights of how you have gone through and experienced and produced some of these beautiful Microsoft Sway pages for your own teaching. I think Ryan also mentioned about the workshop, and my colleague Charina has just posted this particular link here. This is a self-paced course on Microsoft Sway in Canvas, so you can click onto that link and access that self-paced course on how to use it. So there you go.
Yeah, I think also the other thing is that you can probably make a learning flow in Canvas just the same as you can with Sway. It's just really the only difference I would think is just that the Sway has all these pretty pictures, right? It's all set out nicely for you in and all like formatted. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff with Sway. You just throw the title in, you choose an overall design, and then it figures it all out for you. But you can put in, you know, videos and files to download and little quizzes and things like that. You can do all that stuff in Canvas as well, right? In fact, you could do it with NUS blog too, right? WordPress, the WordPress blog, NUS blog, you could do that as well. There, it's just that Sway, the students liked it. It's attractive, so there's a little bit of extra motivation to actually use it. But you know, it's up to you whether you want to do your lectures this way or not.
Are there any questions anyone would like to ask Ryan in relation to the use of Microsoft Sway?
So there's people saying access denied. What's access denied for?
That is in relation to accessing the self-paced course in Canvas.
Oh, I see. Right,
So
okay.
Karina is looking into that, yeah.
Right. I thought they were talking about one of my files. The files should be perfectly accessible to people within the NUS community.
Ryan, I have a question here. You have used Microsoft Sway in producing the content as well as you know, resources for the students to access on their own. And then you provide them the access. So what is your own preference, you know, compared to a learning management system?
Well, Sway's so easy. I prefer Sway to trying to figure out how to use Canvas. Fortunately for HSI 1000, we have quite a lot of FTTAs helping out. So they're running the Canvas. Luminous Luminous still can do pretty much what the Sway can do as well. Although maybe not quite. All of the videos have subtitles, by the way. So that's an important. The students want those. So I strongly suggest, and the beauty of uploading to YouTube is that Google will automatically create you know, closed captions for you. I mean, obviously you're going to have to go in there and edit it, especially if you use a lot of scientific terms or technical terms. It won't know what those are. And also you'll need to put in the punctuation. Of course, if you have your own script, then you just upload it and you're done. You've got your subtitles. I think Panopto, I'm told Panopto, I don't know if Panopto actually does auto subtitles or not. I don't know. But anyway, YouTube does. So, and as I say, I do it unlisted. I mean, maybe a lot of you are uncomfortable with putting stuff on YouTube. I am, so I just put it unlisted.
We have a question from Daniel Wong for Ryan. The question is, what was your student feedback on Sway other than the preference for longer duration?
Oh, the students, I would say the students, because they've never seen it before, so it's a bit hard to know whether it's their preferences confounded by the fact that this is something new and novel, and that maybe 2/3 of the class thought it was really cool and they liked it and they preferred to use it, but a third didn't use it at all. They don't care. They just want the videos. They just want the playlist. Some of the students don't, you know, a good third probably don't care. Just give me the videos. I just want to get put through this. Remember, HSI 1000's compulsory module. The students have to do this whether they like it or not. So there's quite a number of students that do the module really don't want to. So they just don't want any extra stuff. They just want to know how to pass it. Because it's SU in the first year too, right? You can SU it too. So yeah, but nevertheless, I say a good 2/3 of the class thought it was, liked it, preferred it. Because that's right, at the time we actually had two choices. We had the videos just on Luminous for them to look at and just use, and 2/3 of the class preferred to use this way compared to just using the Luminous.
Okay, Lynette has another question here. The sway is in addition to lectures, or how do they feature in the delivery of the module?
The sway is the lecture. The sway is the lecture. So the sway is a book which represents the lecture. So the student goes to page 1, reads the ILOs, then they get to the first video. That's the video of the lecture. There's a quiz after that video. It's as if you were doing it, you know, synchronously in an LT. We can't do that in HSI 1000. No venue at NUS can now hold that the number of students, except maybe the Cultural Centre, but I don't think we're allowed to use the Cultural Centre for lectures. So the sway is the lecture.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Lynette, for that comment.
Yeah, so it's just meant to be a one-stop shop for the students, right? Everything is there in one place. Their notes, the videos, little quizzes on the topic, links to additional reading. If you have other videos you'd like the students to watch, you can embed them in this way. Everything's just in this kind of one single contained eBook, if you like. So it's all in one place. That's one of the things that's nice about it. But again, you can do this with Canvas, right? You can probably do the same thing with the NUS blog as well. So it's just, I think Sway is just particularly convenient to use. That's all. One issue I have with it though is for typing in text, you can't do math. So if you want math formula, then you're going to have to put it in as an image, which is pretty crap, right? Canvas, however, can you do LaTeX? If you're familiar with that sort of thing, then you can write math formulas within Canvas using LaTeX, but you can't do such things with Sway. So if you look at Adrian's lecture, you'll see there were some formulas there. You can't hardly notice, but nevertheless, you have to make them as like images and then upload it to Sway in that way, which is annoying.
Okay. I think we still have time. So what we are thinking about is that we can assign you into small breakout groups for maybe about 10 minutes. And then we come back again so that the breakout, you can share and discuss some of the ideas that you may have in your own context of how you could use Microsoft Sway for your own teaching. But before that, I think there's a question here from Kok Leong. For face-to-face lecture, is there still value in using Sway?
I think you'd have to use your imagination really to get it to work for you. You know, if you want the students, if you're going to give a face-to-face lecture and you're going to give them the lecture notes, what do you need the Sway for? unless you want to have something in addition to your face-to-face lectures. I mean, the Sway is really all about an online lecture, right? Or blended learning. So you do the lectures this way, and then you see them in class to give tutorials. You interact with the students to give tutorials, which is what we use them for. So for HSI 1000, they have 3 workshops and laboratory right? So we go over the lectures with applying the material that they're supposed to have learned from the lectures in the workshops, right, in class, face to face. So really it's for content delivery, and of course you can engage them. There's the quizzes there, right?
Okay, there's a question from Yoke. Does Sway support two-way interactions like forum, or it has to be complemented with Luminous or Canvas?
Forum, that is a feature I'm not aware of. I don't know. I think there's some CIT people here. They might actually be able to answer that. But I'm not aware of forums there, or chats or any kind of thing like that. It's basically an eBook.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to break you into the small groups now. And so I'm going to give you, just give me a minute. Okay. We will give you about 10 minutes and then we'll be back here again. And so that you can share, and if anyone would like to share some of the ideas that you have created, generated. Okay, so I'm going to get you into the groups. Okay, the rooms are open. Okay. Thanks for the discussions in the small groups. Anyone would like to share any thoughts or any ideas that you have in relation to the use of Microsoft Sway in your own context? Any questions? Okay. Yes, Daniel.
I'll just share what I shared in our group, since nobody's saying anything. I joined this topic was because I was wondering, like, whether I should upgrade and look at various other options for teaching aid. But originally, sorry, no pun, but Ryan, when you said that, other than the duration, I thought, then what's the difference with the video? And I wasn't quite convinced that the Microsoft Sway was a powerful tool. And then, but then again, when Alan shared with me more things, and I started to appreciate the fact that there were more differences than just having a duration, because there's already been so many tools that we use for Zoom recording, webcast recording, so there was so many. This was just one more. So of course, the other thing that sort of got me hooked on this topic was because it was Microsoft Sway. So I was just wondering, wow, because it's Microsoft, perhaps there would be a lot of interface and common platform, or tools from the Microsoft network that could connect to this. And yeah, Alan just shared this with me, that there were more than that. So all the more it seems I'm quite keen to give this a shot, give this a try. Yeah, so that's from me. Thanks, Alan and Ryan.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel, for sharing that. Yeah, one of the things I also discovered while using Microsoft Sway is that if I need an image, I'll just type in the keyword of that topic, and there are lots of images that's royalty free or under Creative Commons that's being generated or shared by or suggested by the Microsoft Sway. So that is something that you can also think about as well. Yeah. Any other questions or thoughts, while having your discussion just now? Yes, Tavares, yes.
So, thanks very much for introducing to Sway. I also had attended previous lecture on using Sway for our blended learning. So one of the things that we discuss is also we notice like now students have now most of the classes are face-to-face, and students are now coming from online to offline, so there would be some kind of expectations from the students to see how they can see even more interactive things happening even offline, so they would like to see more and more online materials being shared in the face-to-face interaction. So that's where we were thinking if we can creatively integrate some of these things into our offline classes, that would be quite interesting. So we have to also wait what students' feedback we get this semester, because most of the modules are face-to-face now, and how students react to those modules which were exclusively face-to-face versus those which were blended versus those which use some forms of interactions, though it was not fully blended, some form of online interactions. So in that way, I think we need to come out with some kind of innovative teaching. And I don't know what that innovative teaching would be, but it should integrate online world or online resources with our face-to-face interactions. So I'm really looking forward to use some of these resources in my teaching in the coming semesters.
Ryan, do you have any thoughts about?
I mean, yeah, I agree. You should be able to do this. Exactly this. I mean, the sway is at least makes it attractive for the students to watch the videos. They've got some quizzes after it, and as Daniel was saying, there's a lot of interaction between the various other Microsoft products. And those quizzes are Microsoft Forms, of course. They're not something else. So, and you can, in principle, embed all of the other Microsoft apps output documents in the sways too, so you can give them the material they need in order to be able to then interact with them in class, right? When you take them to class to go over the material that they should have gone over in the sway, you can do that, right? Which is what blended learning is all about. In fact, the quizzes, you can keep track of who did the quizzes. If you want to see if the students that are coming to class now have actually done the quiz, then you can check that if you want, because the quizzes, the results of the quiz can be emailed to you. But I don't ever want that, because I don't want to, I've got 1,000 students. I don't want to get 1,000 emails saying that the students have done the quiz.
Yeah, just to add on to what Ryan shared, I think Microsoft Sway is pretty flexible. It can also use as a place for the students to follow the path that you're embarking on during the face-to-face sessions. For example, if you have 5 segments within that 2-hour session, you can segmentize, let's say, for example, week 4. So you can have 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, and maybe perhaps 4.4, there's an activity that they can follow. So if you use that page for your face-to-face teaching, they can follow exactly what you're going through, including the instructions for them to go into breakouts, for example, that they are able to follow on the same page for that particular face-to-face session. That's one possibility. The other possibility is that I think we have not covered this part yet, but Microsoft Sway is a collaborative tool. In other words, typically students may use Google Slide or some collaborative tools for them to prepare their presentations, and they can use Microsoft Sway within the 5 or 6 students among themselves in a small group to do a presentation in the form of an electronic book that they can share the link with you, and you're able to access those presentation that has been done prepared by the students. And you can also ask them for permission to make a copy for your own as a reference, as well as archive, because by the end of the whole semester, they will have graduated from the module, and you can keep a copy as a reference as well. So that is something that you can also use to build your repository of projects that has been done by the past students. Yeah. And the other beauty of using Sway is that while you are sharing the link with them, they go through the content that you have prepared, you can still make minor changes on the fly because it's live. That particular page is live. So these are some of the things that you can consider using, for Sway for various purposes. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Tavares? Okay, great. All right, I think now is 1 minute past 1 o'clock. I know, some of you may have other meetings and so forth. Maybe what we can do is we can formally conclude this segment here. And I just want to thank Ryan. Thank you so much again for sharing, the insights and also some of the things that you have done using Microsoft Sway for geNiUSbooks. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah. And I will stop the recording now.